Hey, is there anything you need to do before we get started?
I'm good.
All right, hey, I'm Joe from the council, NYBC, National Youth Leadership Council, and if I recall, your name is Gwen.
Yes.
All right, so this is basically just going to be a quick question to figure out how you help out in the cycling community and things like that. So you're all good, right?
Yep.
All right. So what's your story? How did you get into cycling?
I got into it. My dad's actually a really big cyclist, and so he would take my brother and I on rides, and I wanted to be just like my brother when I was little, so I wanted to be able to beat him and everything, and that's how I ended up getting into it. My brother actually ended up quitting biking after a while, but now I'm sort of just in the community, and it's got all my friends, and they're basically my second family, so that's how.
Ah, that's really interesting. And I guess you need a really good bike to beat him, right? So what was your favorite bike?
I have a Scott Spark 910. It's full suspension, carbon. It's really nice. And it's a mountain bike.
And
Those are my favorite.
that sounds pretty epic to me. So they're probably pretty tough. What trails are you taking it on? Like soft ones, maybe like some rocky trails or through forest something.
Yeah. So, well, where I live, Michigan, we it's kind of not as rocky, but we go up to the UP for some races, and there it's like super rocky. Like there's a lot of drops and everything, which is really fun.
All right, and that sounds pretty interesting. And moving back to that, wait, the bike. What was the bike?
It's a Scott Spark 910.
Oh, I actually never heard of those before. But if you're up in where were you?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan. There's not a lot of trails out there, or
There are, it's just not like rocky. It's more like rolling hills.
uh, yeah. So just roll with punches. All right, yeah, I see. And out there, how do you stay connected with the cycling community?
I actually work for a bike shop, so that's sort of how I stay connected. And then also, my dad bikes, and he's part of the cycling community. And there's a lot of rides that we do that have all different teams join in. So that's how I stay involved with them.
And that's really good. So, what would be your local actions in the community that you take in?
I am part of Norte, that's my cycling group, and we have a youth leadership team, and I am the chair of it. So, what we do is we have projects that we create, and then each year we do something different. Like last year, we created a bike ride over at the Commons, which is one of the more like central spots, and we went there and had a bike ride, and that's one of the actions I've taken.
Oh, that sounds really nice. And with these projects, do any of them come with creating bikes?
Some of them do. I'm not the best at building bikes or fixing bikes, but a lot of the people on my team do.
So you probably fix a bike or two, right?
A couple, yeah.
So, is there any favorite part on the bike that's your favorite, like you like to get fixing?
I mean, brakes are always good, so then you have brakes. I don't really have a favorite
Yeah,
though.
quick fix. All right, well, yeah, brakes are kind of a quick fix to get, I guess, to get the bike rolling. And I guess that's probably mine as well. More so around like the chains. I just can, loop the chain and that's it. Just get right onto it.
Yeah.
So it's glad to hear your backstory and everything that's been going on with biking and your favorite about biking and what favorite part you might have if you don't really have one. But how does your view on cycling come, or like your view on cycling now? How is it now than it was back then when you first got started out?
I think it's become sort of more independent. When I started, it was more based on like I want to beat my brother, and now it's more I want to keep riding because I have friends who ride who love it, and I have come to love it a lot more than I did when I started.
That's really good. And that means how has it impacted your life?
It's been a really big impact. A lot of my friends I've gained through cycling and a lot of like adults that support us have come through cycling. Like we had a pretty tough year. My family's house burned down and it was the cycling community that donated a ton of money to help us like regain our possessions and everything. So they play a huge role in helping us.
That's really well. That's not nice that your house burned down, but it is nice that you got some comfort zone to stay at. And I'm pretty sure that was really rough to get through. So, is there anything that like hasn't been added to cycling yet that could have been added to make that easier?
I think we could have more like team integration. There's a lot of different teams. Like Haggerty does not seem to like our Norte as much, but it's been getting better since we've been able to go on a lot more rides with them and actually get to know them, which is super nice.
All right. So, as the year progressed and as things are improving more and more, what do you think the cycling community needs to move and forward to? Like, what actions should they move forward on now, moving into the
I
next
think
year?
I think they should move forward with like having more rides and then connecting a lot more so that we get to know the whole cycling community instead of being sectioned off into different groups and teams.
I see, I see. And if I may backtrack a little bit towards your comfort zone, when you got back into helping, when they helped you out during your fire, what resources from national groups really support would like stand out to you?
From national groups, I think a lot, like I lost a lot of different bike shoes, bike helmets and everything, and I was donated them by the community, but none of it really fit. So I think if national groups like knew what was happening and could like donate money for us to go replace items, or if they could just show their support or advocate for us online, that would have helped a lot.
All right, and I have to agree with you there. They help out in which way they can, but the way they do it could use a little work, and that's why we're here, so we can get that all sorted out, and hopefully in the future, as they move forward into fixing these goals that you have been talking about here today, that'll work out later on, and more people don't have to go through what you went through, but have a better experience, and moving forward, we'll all have a better experience as we build it all together. So, at the end of the day, overall, how do you think the National Youth Bike Council could help youth?
I think they could do a few more outreach programs. Like, I would really like to get to know different people on your team. I'd really like to get to know like people who bike all over the nation instead of just people in my community. Like, I think that would be really cool.
That's really good as we try and scratch out and do what we can. So, would there be anything specifically that you would have us trying to achieve?
Not particularly, just getting to know people better. Like, I did not realize you guys existed until Ty emailed us. That's our director. He emailed us all about the your national youth group, and it would have been nice to know about you guys before then as well.
All right. Well, as we're making ourselves more known and getting out there, we're we'll make it happen. Well, it's all learning progress right now, and that's all that matters. That we're getting ourselves out there and meeting new people. So it's nice to see a new face around here. And if I recall, your name is Gwen, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, my name is Joe. Thank you so much for hopping onto this Instagram live.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Let's just go on the rest of the day.
You too. Bye.